I turned my professor's nervous habit into a $1,000 betting pool. Back in college, I was the definition of broke. I was living off ramen noodles and tap water, wondering how I was going to pay for my textbooks. That was until I sat through my first week of applied linguistics with Dr. Sterling. Dr. Sterling was a brilliant man, but he had this incredibly specific, unconscious tic. Every single time he used the word indubitably, he would reach up and give his left earlobe a tiny rhythmic tug. It was like a glitch in the Matrix. After sitting through 3 lectures and counting, I realized he was saying it at least 25 times per hour, and that's when the light bulb went off. I didn't just see a habit, I saw a business opportunity. The next Monday, I started a simple betting pool. $5 buy-in. You had to guess exactly how many times Dr. Sterling would say his word of the day and pull his ear. The rules were simple. Winner takes the pot, and if nobody gets it exactly right, the money rolls over to the next lecture. The first week, only 6 people joined. They thought I was weird for even noticing. I counted 22 indubitablys. Nobody guessed it. The $30 rolled over. By the second week, word had spread. 20 students joined. The pot was over $100. People were actually starting to pay attention in class, not to the lecture, but to every movement of the professor's hand. They were taking notes on his speech patterns, like they were studying for the MCATs. But I had a secret. I wasn't just counting the habit, I was controlling it. I'd spent my weekend reading about mirroring and behavioral conditioning. I realized that if I sat in the very front row, right in his line of sight, and wore something bright, like my neon orange sweatshirt, I could get his attention. Whenever I subtly reached up and pinched my own left ear, Dr. Sterling's brain would unconsciously mirror me. He'd tug his ear, and like clockwork, he'd drop an indubitably. I was essentially playing him like a human piano, and betting on the melody. By mid-semester, this thing had turned into an underground phenomenon. Students from the engineering department were coming in, bringing spreadsheets, trying to calculate the probability of ear tugs per minute. The pot hit $500. I became the bookie of the linguistics department. I made sure I was the one who held the money, and because I was the one controlling the input, I made sure no one ever guessed the exact number. I would lead him to 24 and then stop, or push him to 31. I was the house, and the house always wins. Then came the final lecture of the year. The pot was sitting at nearly $1,000. The tension in that lecture hall was thicker than a textbook. Every student was sat on the edge of their seat, pens ready, tally marks flying. That day, I decided to end the game. I didn't wear my orange sweatshirt. I wore a plain black tee. I sat in the back, and I didn't touch my ear a single time. Dr. Sterling walked in, looked directly at the front row where I usually sat, then scanned the back until he found me. He gave a tiny, almost invisible smile. For the next 60 minutes, he gave the most articulate, clean lecture I've ever heard. He didn't say indubitably once. Not a single time. Not a single ear tug. The entire class was devastated. People had guessed 15, 20, 50. No one guessed 0, except for one person. After the lecture ended and the disappointed crowd cleared out, Dr. Sterling beckoned me to his desk. I walked up, feeling the weight of the $1,000 in my bag, feeling like I'd been caught. He didn't look angry. He just pulled out a small piece of paper from his pocket. On it, he'd written the number 0. "I believe I'm the winner of the pool," he said, his voice calm and steady. I was speechless. "You knew?" "Son," he chuckled, "I've been a professor of behavioral linguistics for 30 years. Did you really think I wouldn't notice a student in a neon orange shirt trying to Pavlov me for 3 months?" He took the money, every single cent, and handed it back to me with a wink. "Take this to the university's scholarship office. Tell them it's a donation from the Applied Behavioral Research Fund. Oh, and check your grades tonight. You're getting an A." I asked him why, since I'd basically been gambling in his class. He just tugged his ear, smiled, and said, "Because you didn't just learn the material, you lived it. Essentially, you got played by the master." I walked out of that hall broke, but with the best story of my life. So was I the genius, or was I just the lab rat? Honestly, I'm still not sure.